Have you spent decades accumulating a massive retirement portfolio only to realize you are absolutely terrified of actually spending it? The traditional financial industry has conditioned you to rely on the fragile 4% rule, essentially praying that the stock market does not crash while you slowly drain your life savings. However, the global elite and retired billionaires operate under a completely different and far more sophisticated mathematical paradigm. They absolutely refuse to cannibalize their principal capital to fund their luxury lifestyle. Instead, they engineer an indestructible financial fortress utilizing high-yield sovereign and corporate bonds. Today we are going to completely deconstruct this elite fixed income architecture. You are about to discover how the wealthiest families on Earth generate millions in passive cash flow simply by loaning their money to the most secure institutions on the planet. To truly comprehend this massive wealth preservation strategy, you must fundamentally shift your perspective on how capital actually operates in the global economy. When you purchase equities in the stock market, you are buying a small slice of unpredictable future earnings. Subject to catastrophic volatility and chaotic executive mismanagement, high net worth individuals cannot afford to gamble their legacy on such unpredictable variables. When they transition into retirement, they demand absolute mathematical certainty. This is precisely why they aggressively transition their massive portfolios into the bond market. When you acquire a bond, you are not buying equity, you are acting as the bank. You are extending a highly secured loan to a sovereign government or a massive global corporation in exchange for a legally binding contract that guarantees regular interest payments and the absolute return of your original capital. The sheer power of this fixed income strategy becomes undeniably obvious when deployed at a massive scale. Consider a highly successful entrepreneur who liquidates their business for $10 million. If they attempt to navigate the volatile stock market, a sudden 20% correction could instantly wipe out $2 million of their net worth, causing severe psychological distress. However, by allocating that exact same capital into a diversified portfolio of premium corporate and sovereign bonds yielding a conservative 5%, they instantly generate $500,000 in pure passive income every single year. That is a massive automated cash flow engine that relentlessly deposits funds into their checking account. Regardless of whether the broader stock market crashes or the global economy enters a severe recession, they literally get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars just for existing. The most profound and liberating aspect of this billionaire strategy is the concept of absolute capital preservation. Because the immense interest payments generated by the bond portfolio are more than sufficient to fully fund their luxurious retirement, the ultra-wealthy never actually have to sell their underlying assets. Their original $10 million principal remains completely intact and heavily defended against market turbulence. This creates an infinite automated cash loop that permanently sustains their bloodline. When their time eventually comes, that exact same pristine $10 million principal seamlessly transfers to their heirs, who then continue to harvest the exact same endless river of passive income. They have effectively engineered a permanent financial machine that converts their past labor into infinite generational wealth, ensuring their descendants never have to rely on active employment. We have now reached an incredibly critical juncture in understanding how the ultra-wealthy structure their retirement portfolios. You might already be recognizing the profound safety of fixed income and contemplating a strategic shift away from chaotic equities. However, there is a highly sophisticated layer of geopolitical engineering that billionaires utilize to maximize these exact bond yields, while legally neutralizing their tax obligations. This advanced global strategy is what truly separates standard wealthy retirees from the absolutely untouchable elite. If you navigate away from this briefing right now, your passive income will remain severely handicapped by domestic inflation and aggressive taxation. But if you choose to stay, you will unlock the final architectural secret of elite cash flow generation. The defining characteristic of elite wealth management is understanding that it is not just about how much yield you can mathematically generate, but exactly how much of that yield you actually get to keep. The top 1% utilize incredibly sophisticated tax optimization protocols to shield their massive bond income from aggressive government confiscation. In the United States, for example, the ultra-wealthy aggressively accumulate premium municipal bonds. These specific financial instruments are issued by local governments to fund critical public infrastructure, and the interest they pay is legally completely exempt from federal income taxes. By strategically constructing a massive municipal bond portfolio, a billionaire can generate millions of dollars in absolute tax-free cash flow, effectively starving the bureaucratic friction that constantly seeks to drain the capital of the uninformed retail investor. Furthermore, true financial sovereignty requires massive geopolitical diversification. The global elite absolutely refuse to anchor their entire fixed income portfolio to a single nation or a single currency. They aggressively acquire sovereign debt from highly stable foreign governments, capitalizing on varying interest rate environments and neutralizing domestic currency risks. If the central bank of their home country begins to recklessly print money and debase the local currency, their international bond portfolio provides a powerful macroeconomic counterbalance. This incredibly agile global positioning ensures that their automated cash flow machine remains completely immune to localized political disasters or regional economic depressions. They view the entire globe as a singular massive yield-generating playground, carefully extracting absolute financial security from the most stable jurisdictions on the planet. Implementing this pristine fixed income strategy requires moving completely beyond the psychological barriers that trap the average investor. The masses are entirely addicted to the emotional thrill of chasing massive stock market gains, constantly seeking the next explosive technology stock or speculative cryptocurrency. The global elite have completely conquered this primitive financial ego. They find absolute profound excitement in the boring and highly predictable nature of guaranteed interest payments. They understand that a peaceful retirement is incompatible with staring at volatile portfolio charts all day. By sacrificing the chaotic potential for massive short-term capital gains, they purchase the ultimate luxury, which is an unshakable peace of mind. They sleep perfectly at night knowing their massive cash flow is legally, contractually, and mathematically guaranteed by the most powerful entities on Earth. The sheer mathematical elegance of this system is further amplified when these elite retirees do not actually need to consume their entire generated yield. When their luxurious lifestyle requires only a fraction of their massive interest payments, they execute the ultimate compounding protocol. They take that excess tax-free cash flow and systematically reinvest it right back into acquiring even more premium bonds. This creates a terrifyingly powerful snowball effect, where their massive principal continues to expand purely through the relentless accumulation of reinvested interest. Their financial fortress grows wider and taller every single quarter, completely independent of their physical labor. This is the exact mathematical secret of how old money dynasties continue to expand their massive wealth across centuries, effortlessly outpacing inflation and compounding their absolute dominance in the global economy. The absolute blueprint for escaping the terrifying volatility of the stock market and engineering an indestructible, automated cash flow machine is now perfectly resting in your hands. But this elite macroeconomic knowledge requires immediate and uncompromising execution. The era of blindly hoping your retirement portfolio survives the next inevitable market crash is permanently over. You must entirely reject the illusion of endless speculative growth and demand the absolute mathematical certainty of fixed income for your legacy. Begin restructuring your wealth today and start aggressively accumulating the premium sovereign and corporate bonds that will fund your infinite freedom. If this high-level financial briefing has fundamentally upgraded your perspective, make sure to subscribe to Golden Wealth. Share this vital protocol with your successful peers. Secure your cash flow, protect your legacy, and remain golden.